There's something wonderfully strange about the mind. The more you try to calm it, the more agitated it becomes. Have you noticed this? You sit down to meditate, determined to achieve inner peace. And what happens? Your mind goes absolutely wild. Thoughts come crashing in from every direction. Your to-do list appears. Old arguments replay themselves. Random songs get stuck on repeat. And you think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I make my mind quiet? But here's the thing. You can't force your mind to be silent. That would be like trying to smooth ripples in water with a flat iron. The more you press down, the more disturbance you create. Water becomes clear and calm only when left alone. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. Now, this is such an important principle, not just for meditation, but for life itself. When you stir up muddy water, trying to see through it, you only make it muddier. The sediment swirls. The visibility gets worse. But if you simply set the jar down and wait the particles naturally settle, the water clears by itself. You didn't have to do anything. In fact, doing nothing was the only thing that worked. This is the great secret of meditation, and it's a secret that's often misunderstood. People think meditation is about achieving something a blank mind, a special state, enlightenment, peace. So they sit down and try very hard to get there. But the trying is the problem. The effort to achieve stillness creates exactly the turbulence you're trying to eliminate. It's the backwards law again, you see. The same principle that makes trying to be happy the very thing that prevents happiness. When you try to force the mind to be still, you're adding more activity to the mind. You're creating a new thought. I must be still. And then another. Why am I not still yet? And another. I'm failing at this. And another. What's wrong with me? You've just made the water muddier. So what's the alternative? Simply this. Let the mind do what it's doing. A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. And so, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically the chatter in the skull, the perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning, and of calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. All so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking, they have lost touch with reality. We confuse signs, words, numbers, symbols, and ideas with the real world. Most of us would rather have money than tangible wealth, and a great occasion is somehow spoiled for us unless photographed. So the art of meditation is not about stopping thought. It's about changing your relationship to thought. Instead of being lost in thinking identified with every thought as me, you simply watch. You watch thoughts arise and pass away, like clouds drifting across the sky. The sky doesn't try to push the clouds away. The sky is simply vast and clouds move through it. Let me offer you a beautiful image. When water is still, it is like a mirror reflecting the beard and the eyebrows. It gives the accuracy of the water level, and the philosopher makes it his model. And if water thus derives lucidity from stillness, how much more the faculties of the mind? The mind of the sage, being in repose, becomes the mirror of the universe, the speculum of all creation. The fluidity of water is not the result of any effort on the part of the water, it is its natural property. Your mind, too, has a natural property, awareness. Awareness doesn't have to be manufactured. It's already here. It's what's reading these words right now. The only question is whether this awareness is clear like still water or turbulent, like water that's constantly being stirred. Let's actually experience this together now. I'd like you to simply sit or lie wherever you are. And rather than trying to do anything with your mind, rather than trying to meditate or achieve anything, simply notice what's happening. Notice the sounds around you. You don't have to do anything about them. Just let them be sounds. Notice the sensations in your body. You don't have to relax. You don't have to do anything. Just notice what's there. And now, notice your thoughts. There they are, chattering away, perhaps commenting on this very exercise. Don't try to stop them. Don't engage with them either. Just watch. As if your thoughts were a television playing in the corner of the room and you don't have to pay attention to it. Notice that you can be aware of thoughts without being lost in them. There's a difference between thinking and being aware of thinking. When you're aware of thinking, thoughts become objects in awareness like sounds, like sensations. They're just things happening. They're not commands. They're not you. This is the natural settling of the mind. You're not forcing stillness. You're allowing it. Just as muddy water clears when left alone, now there's something else I want to share with you. A very liberating perspective. Regard yourself as a cloud in the flesh, because you see, clouds never make mistakes. Did you ever see a cloud that was misshapen? Did you ever see a badly designed wave? No, they always do the right thing. And if you will treat yourself for a while as a cloud or a wave, you'll realize that you can't make a mistake, whatever you do. Because even if you do something that appears totally disastrous, it will all come out in the wash somehow or another. Then through this capacity, you will develop a kind of confidence, and through confidence, you will be able to trust your own intuition. You see, we have so many anxieties about doing things wrong, about making mistakes, about failing at meditation, failing at life. But what if you couldn't make a mistake? What if, like a cloud or a wave, you are always doing exactly what you're doing, and that's the only thing you could be doing? This isn't a philosophy of fatalism or passivity. It's a recognition that you are a natural phenomenon, just as much as clouds and waves and trees and stars. And nature doesn't make mistakes. Nature just does what it does. When you understand this, something relaxes very deeply. The compulsive need to be other than you are, to have a different mind, a quieter mind, a better mind dissolves. And in that relaxation, quite naturally, the water clears. This is what the great sages mean when they talk about naturalness. The Chinese call it sujan, that which is so of itself. Spontaneity, the way things happen when they're not forced. Your breathing is like this. You don't have to think about it. It breathes itself. Your heartbeat is like this. Your digestion, the circulation of your blood. All of this happens perfectly, naturally, without your interference. What if the mind could be the same way? What if clarity is what happens when you stop stirring? Let's rest here for a moment more. There's nothing to achieve, nowhere to get to, nothing to fix. Just this moment exactly as it is. The sounds arising and falling, the breath coming and going, thoughts appearing and dissolving, all by themselves. You don't have to manage any of it. Just watch. Just be. And notice perhaps that in this not doing, something settles. Not because you forced it to settle, but because settling is what naturally happens when you stop stirring. The water clears, and you find you're looking into a mirror that reflects everything perfectly without distortion. This is your natural mind, always here, always available, hidden only by the habit of stirring. So, when you leave this session and return to your life with all its demands and challenges and complexities, remember this: you don't have to force peace, you don't have to achieve stillness, you simply have to stop disturbing yourself. And how do you stop disturbing yourself? By noticing that you're doing it, and by finding it funny rather than tragic. Oh, look, there I go again, stirring the water. And then simply, you set the jar down. Let the mud settle. Let the water clear. Let the mind return to its natural state, which was never actually lost, only temporarily obscured, like the sky behind the clouds, like the stillness beneath the waves, like you, the awareness behind all your thoughts, always here, always clear, always free.